This is a classic blues and R&B podcast. On the line with me, a live line here. My name is Sir Henry Cheatham, the host of Classic Blues and R&B on WVON 1690 AM here in Chicago. Today we have a guest on the line is Big Lou Double L Johnson. Brother Lou,
Man,
how
you ain't
you
laughing
doing?
at my name, is it? You laughing at my name? Why you laughing, brother Henry?
No, I was butchering it, and I wasn't trying to butcher it.
Don't butcher my name, man. That L, that extra L in my name stands for my peoples, my ancestors.
All right. Yeah. So, it's just like, coming from down south, what's your name? Double L. It's WL, right? There's a double L. So, Brother Lou, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm all right for old fat man. I'm just going back and forth right now from my computer to my room in here where I'm speaking to you in my booth. But I'm good.
Good.
There's so much stuff going on, man. I'm like running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Well, you might be a chicken. Since you got your head cut off, you don't know who you are. Brother Lou, tell us a little bit about you and who you are.
I'm just a poor boy from the west side of Chicago, not far from the original WVON studios, man, over there on Roosevelt in California.
Okay.
And yeah, grew up on the west side over there, went to Westinghouse High School and then Columbia College. And after that, I had me a business for a few years representing actors and models. And then I decided to go the blues route, and I've been doing that ever since now. It's been good. The blues been very good to Big Lou.
Well, that's a good thing. I'm glad to hear that. I love it myself too, Brother Lou.
I'm glad it's good to somebody because, someday you say having the blues ain't necessarily a good thing, but having the blues for me has been a blessing, baby.
Right, yeah, a lot of folks think the blues is, I don't see it as depressing either, Brother Lou. So, Brother Lou, you're out in California now, right?
What had happened with me was that I got another blessing. This cat by the name of George Lucas. I heard they're building a museum out there in Chicago now on a lake or somewhere.
No, they took it back to California.
No, they're not going to do it now?
No, they're going to do it in California.
Oh, cool, yeah. Well, anyway, I got a call from him, and he wanted me to be in this last animated feature that they was doing. It was called Strange Magic. They had worked on it for years, and they were looking for this character, this big old fat fairy. And they heard my voiceover demo, and he gave me a call, and next thing I know, I'm recording for George Lucas, singing in this movie and acting like, hey, my name is Parr, that kind of stuff, and came out here to L.A., and I liked it so much, man, I stayed.
Yeah,
I told my wife, baby, get rid of that house and come on out here, and we're gonna live our lives in California. We look at the big old cement pond, movie stars and everything. I got the cement pond, but I ain't got that mansion and movie star stuff yet, though.
Yeah, you might be better off because you got to pay for it once you get it. So yeah, that $1,000 a day or whatever it may be. I think I saw somebody at a place here renting for about a couple of $100,000 a month. I said, dog, I mean, you won't have much money left after that.
Brother Henry, it's expensive out here, man. I tip my hat to any creative persons who come out here from places like Chicago and places in between and try to make their dreams come true, because it is not an easy thing to do out here with the cost of living and compared to Chicago, it's pretty high. And if you can do it, more power to you. You should at least try, because nothing beat a failure but a try.
So how long you been there?
It's been going on 4 years now.
Okay.
But I come home every Christmas, and when I do my album, as a matter of fact, I'm working on my new album, my new blues album, and I prefer to record in Chicago because that's where the Chicago cats are, and that's where I did my first one, and so I would like to keep that thing going because I don't want to mess with that mojo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be back again. And when I'm coming back to Chicago, I can't come. Brother Henry, they're gonna be putting me in the Chicago Blues Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
That's an honor and a half. But I got a date with Big Lou's Bluesville Review. We'd already been contracted to perform at the Arizona Southern Heritage Blues Festival in Tucson, Arizona. So I ain't gonna be able to come. I'm gonna have to like send a video and maybe my wife or somebody like that to come accept in my stead. After that, the next month we're gonna be working on our album. You know, we got some Chicago cats on it and some of my old friends and some new music that has been written for me and some stuff I've written myself, and we're looking forward to finishing it up.
That's a good thing. Sounds good. You know, I noticed your new CD, not as new, I don't mean that. I was watching one of your videos, the one, Flesh and Blood. I was watching that.
Oh, no. You know, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I recorded that on a cruise ship somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was impromptu. They said, well, we should record. We should do it more. Well, why not? Yeah. Flesh and Blood. I like that. That's what they call me, Sexy Lou. That's the Sexy Lou.
Okay.
And that's what as a matter of fact, that's the moniker. You know, I've been fortunate enough to coming next month, the first week in November, we will be in Denmark at the Blues Heaven Festival. And the promoters out there have decided to name me the sexiest voice in blues. And I'm going like, really? Okay, I'm going to go with it then. So Big Lou is now the sexiest voice in blues, and that's the moniker, and that's the motto we're going to stick with until like it falls off or something rotten.
Nothing wrong with that. That's how people get it. Somebody else name you anyway. You know, you say, okay, I run with it. I like it, you know.
Yeah, but that song, Flesh and Blood, was, I think, the sexiest song on my CD. And so I think that's where they got it from. But, yeah, we're very pleased to be the first American or African-American or American to go over there to Denmark and host and perform at this huge festival. So we're really proud and excited. And a lot of cats from the U.S. are coming in. And I think a couple of Chicago cats, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, now, you know, another one I like is the X Factor.
Well, you know, on my journey, Brother Henry, to the blues, I have, you know, coming from Chicago, you know, we are blessed to be able to have a mecca of all kind of music there. And I got my chops singing jazz. I grew up singing gospel at New Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church on Roosevelt in Francisco, where I was baptized. And I was singing in the choir there ever since I was like 4, 3, as long as I can remember. But I would say when I was a teenager, you know, like most teenagers coming up on the West Side and you was in a band, you was doing cover songs. You know, I was doing Barry White and all this other kind of stuff with my band called Deep Involvement while we was in high school. I kind of cut it out when I got to college. But one of the things that we did was to do R&B cover tunes. And so when I got an opportunity to do my first one, it was called Step With You. And it blew up. It's a Steppers classic in Chicago now. Do, girl, I want to lead you. Oh, anyway, really cool Steppers cut. And so I'm not just, you know, I don't want to put myself in one bucket. So when somebody says, hey, Lou, we want you to record this, and it's something I can get into, I'm more than happy to do it. And that's how cuts like that when the X Factor came about, because the guy who wrote Step With You wrote the X Factor. And, you know, they're more that old school R&B flavor, that old school Chicago stepping thing. And I dig that, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm down for that. And so that's how that X Factor thing come about.
Yes.
X Factor, you know, plus, you know, you got that Barry White thing that I just can't get away from because, you know, my voice is all the way down to my gonads, you know? So it's got that kind of flavor to it.
How tall are you, bro, Lou?
6'3", 300 pounds, man, just like the song say. You know, 300 pounds of heavenly joy, but you wouldn't know nothing about that.
Yeah. Hoy. 300 pounds.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So my blues journey, man, has been interesting. And like I said, I'm blessed to be able to do what we do. And radio has been the catalyst for all the things that I do, you know. And I got to give props to you and the folks at WVON who've been keeping the voice of the Negro strong and proud, you know, from Chicago. And I say it everywhere I go, you know, Chicago. some call it the home of the blues, and I know me, and I think I got it from Ronnie Baker Brooks, where he says, the blues grew up, got grown. Of course, we know Chicago didn't create the blues,
right,
but because it came from down south from the cotton fields,
right.
But it got grown when it got to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? That's where it got its wings and flew. And I'm just blessed to be able to say that if it wasn't for Chicago radio and folks like WVON, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, because I got my first radio experience at WVON doing high school news back in the 70s.
Okay.
And from there, that's where I got bitten by the radio bug, and that led me to being the voice of B.B. King's Bluesville now ever since its inception on Sirius Satellite Radio. My program director there, Bill Wax, I said, man, I'm going to cover this blues CD. There you go ahead, Lou. Nobody but you, baby. And so he encouraged me not to go to rock, because I could have got anybody's, but I went and got some cats who were little known like me, and we put our heart and soul into some standard blues cuts, and next thing I know, I'm accepting the Blues Music Award with my producers in Memphis at the Blues Music Awards, and that was been one of the best nights of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who some of the guys played with you? Some of you spoke of, now you were in the band back here in Chicago, right?
Yes, sir. That's where I recorded most of the majority of the CD in Chicago with Chicago Cats that was put together for me by the brother who plays harmonica there, and I was introduced to him by my agent in Chicago, Russ Green, a hell of a producer and harmonica player, and he's out there now doing his own thing, playing with cats all over the world, And he's working on his new CD too, but he didn't ask me to be on his, so I'm gonna have to slap him upside his head.
Yeah, well, now you're too big for now. He probably a little guy now. You can't be going around hitting on folks. You're bigger.
Yeah, we got to be careful about how we phrase stuff like that these days.
Yeah. Oh, you ain't kidding, right? Yeah, you're not kidding. Yeah.
It's just gonna forget about me. I'm gonna bust him upside.
He did threaten me, You got me. He did threaten me.
And it's on radio.
Yeah, that's right.
But one of the bands that I use in Chicago when I'm there regularly, even when I'm at Buddy Guy's and he's my Midwest band with Big Lou and the Bluesville Review. That's Mike Wheeler.
Okay, yeah.
Mike Wheeler band. That brother's, I'm so glad that he got through with his regular gig, because he's out there now everywhere, and he's playing all over the world, and he's a fabulous person, first of all, and a wonderful musician. And I give props to him and his bandmates, because they do the doggone thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, that's a good thing.
Indeed.
Do you play an instrument or no?
I grew up playing tenor saxophone.
Okay.
Well, actually, I learned on the baritone, and then that was too big for me. Then I went to tenor, and I was quite the. If I got to pat my own horn, I was no pun intended. I was quite good back in the day, but we gave it up to step in front of the microphone, and I've been picking it up recently, and I'm gonna be putting it on my new CD. Not something too complicated, but one of the things I did when. In my other life was I was an agent, and I was fortunate enough to represent cats like Stanley Turrentine, who became my good friend, who was also good friends with Joe Williams, and who became my good friend, because I owned a talent agency back in the day.
Okay.
And I used to be able to hang with these cats, and they showed and told me a lot about the business, which I'm very grateful for to this day,
So you did jazz or just all of it?
Yeah, man. But the thing that stuck is blues. I've done blues now longer than I've done any music genre. But my first trip to Europe, I was singing gospel with this play called A Piece of My Soul.
Okay.
And then after that, I was doing jazz. I did jazz for a couple of years. But my first produced CD by me that took off was They Call Me Big Lou. I did a gospel CD with a gospel quartet. The name of the group was called Favor, and Sue Conway helped put that together, and she took us overseas. But that didn't stick, but the blues thing did. So I'm grateful for it, and it's a wonderful story of a wonderful people. It's our music that has crossed the seas, and unfortunately, uh, we as a people have, in my opinion, kind of, particularly in the Midwest, we don't support it the way I think we should or we could. I'm glad that other races of people in other countries have embraced it, and because now that allows us, to be able to work and make a living and still keep the genre alive. But I wish that more African Americans would support it, by going out to the clubs and paying to see and hear the blues artists whenever they have the opportunity to. Out here in L.A., it's not like Chicago. In Chicago, you can go on the north side or the west side, and you can go to clubs all hours of the night. Out here, blues clubs are closing, 90 going west, as my mama would say. But, yeah. So, but the festivals, there are quite a few festivals around the globe that, keep artists busy once they're, gotten a certain acclaim. But there are those cats who people don't know about, is still changing away, trying to make a name for themselves. And those are the cats that we should watch out for and support, buy their CDs, even when they're selling them in the club. I encourage our listeners to keep this music alive, because it is America's original art form of music,
Right, it is the original music of America, that's for sure.
That's it, baby, that's it,
Yeah, that's a good thing, too, Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, when you were coming up, and when I think I'm older than you are, and when I was, I'm from Mississippi, Jackson.
Jackson, I was just there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Jackson Music Awards.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. So when I got to this town, that was you walk out of one club into the next club, and you had great talent. There's still a lot of great talent around, But like you say, they all moved up north now, and hopefully, I've been working with a couple of guys. We'll be trying to get the bands and things to play on the south side, trying to find different venues, to play in. And so people can see, hey, look here it is. This is the real deal. Thing I miss about nightclubs is smoking. Hey, man, I don't smoke, I quit smoking a long time ago. But I'm just saying, hey, that was it, baby. Go there, get
what? I done forgot the smell now, going to a club where the smoke was just like, overpower you. Yeah, they don't have that anymore, do they?
Right. Yeah. Talking to the girls, and the girls go, yeah, buy me a drink and give me a cigarette. That was a good opening line for you, Yeah. Okay, Brother Lou, I really, really appreciate this. You got anything else you want to say?
Oh, man, what we doing? Oh, please. Yeah, well, every year I've been fortunate enough now we just had our 5th anniversary. Every year during the Blues Music Awards, usually the first week in Memphis in May, I have Big Lou's annual Blues Hall of Fame tribute jam. And it is the biggest party in Memphis outside of the Blues Music Awards during that period. And you can go to blueshalloffamejam.com to find out about it. And if there are people who are listening who want to support the blues and come down and party with those who are being inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame, and also getting Blues Music Awards during that week, because a few thousand people come. We descend on Memphis and take it over, and we make it a blues place, baby. Come on down. It's the first week in May, and support the blues and support the artists. Yeah. Blues Hall of Fame, jam.com. If you want to find out what Big Lou doing, where you go to biglou.com. That's BIGLLOU, baby.com.
You got a Twitter account, Instagram, any of that stuff you want to say?
It's all Big Lou, BIGLLOU at Twitter, right?
Okay.
Yep. On Facebook is LLO. It's Big Lou Johnson, BIGLLOU Johnson. I need to have some. I've been neglecting myself. Somebody said, "Look, you need to like get up on that social media stuff because that's happening these days." So I'm trying to get people to go like me. Please go like my Facebook page.
You gotta agree with that. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, so be looking. What else we doing? I just became the voice of the Cleveland Browns, and I'm the voice of Stubbs barbecue sauce. Oh yeah, that kind of stuff. And we just happy to be out here doing what we do, in California.
So you're doing a lot of commercial work, huh?
Yeah. Well, like I say, a lot is relative.
Well, yeah. Hey, the voice of the Cleveland Browns, and the barbecue.
Yeah, that just happened. Yeah. And we love Stubbs barbecue sauce, and we did McDonald's today. So yeah, that's what we do. Every day we wake up, it's a new blessing, and we just hope that we can stay around and do it as long as the good Lord would have us do it. And we encourage everybody else to each one teach one. So if you got some knowledge or something that you could pass on to those young brothers and sisters coming up, please do so. Each and every opportunity you get.
Yeah, Stubbs barbecue.
Stubbs barbecue sauce, baby. World famous Stubbs barbecue sauce. As a matter of fact, this past May, they became a sponsor of my event down Big Lou's Juke Joint Jam in Memphis. And I thank them very much for that. And along with my other sponsors like the legendary Rhythm and Blues Cruise and Tall City Blues Fest and stuff like because we're going to be on the February Blues Cruise. That's 7 days of nothing but blues on a fully chartered cruise ship. Go to bluescruise.com, find out about that. We've been on that for several years now too, hosting and performing on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've enjoyed this interview, Brother Llou, and I will be putting a piece of it up on the radio show, and then I'll put some of it up on my YouTube channel, probably the whole thing on my YouTube,
Well, I appreciate what you do, Brother Henry. I'm glad to see that there are people still in Chicago who want to keep the music alive and inform those lovers of the music of what's going on and what's happening here. And I hope to see you in Chicago the next time I get by there. I don't know where I'm going to be performing anytime soon, but I'm sure we'll be somewhere. But if I'm in town, you will definitely see me at Buddy Guy's Legends.
Okay, that's a good thing. And always give me a shout when you get here. And if you got a chance to drop into by the station, if I'm still there, just do it. We'll be glad to have you, man.
Well, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the love. Shucky ducky quack quack is all that, like Big Lou said. Like, right back at you, baby, like that.
Thanks for joining our podcast here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us at Henry CB. Follow us on Twitter at WVON Henry, and like our Facebook page at Classic Blues and R&B.